A lot of the oohs and the ahs coming here are coming from dosedel shots rather than rafter. This has been the more exciting performance, even though the moment he's losing the match.
$15.30.
Just checking with Mike Morrissey, but no doubt it was long. Difficult shot, but again, Rafter at his best handles those. He's just not at his best here.
$30 all.
Wow. Take that, and here's a point that could really exhilarate the crowd now.
30-40.
Again, watch where Dosedel's standing when he actually strikes this ball. Well inside the baseline, and as that serve came in at 115 miles an hour, he didn't have much time to react. Break point. Whoa!
Game, Dosedel.
Take that, two absolute stunners in the check, and he'll be serving for the set.
Which he managed to do very successfully, and so Dosedel had managed to square things at 1 set apiece. Here we are now in the third, Dosedel serving to save the set.
Well, the wind played its part there, and it looked like it dragged the ball in, but Dosedel recovered
15.
well.
Yeah, but why wasn't Rafter at the net
No.
after that lob?
$15 all.
Second double. Just a sighter.
$15.30.
Do you think Dosedel once had a bad overhead and decided he'd simulate overheads on every serve?
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Because that toss is like a lob. And the combination of nerves and the wind that's come up has really given him problems this game.
Oh.
30 all.
Again, Rafter, he can't understand the wind. You can see him gazing up. He thought as it went off the racket, that was fine. And it wasn't even close. It was 2 or 3 inches long.
He's saying the wind's in my face on this side, and it's going against me on the other side.
He's listening to you. I'm beginning to believe you.
40-30.
That was awful.
Yes, awful is an understatement.
Deuce.
It's tricky, isn't it? Because we're locked in this commentary booth, court side. As you say, there are no flags. We can't really gauge the wind perfectly, how much it's got up, but it does seem to be a big factor right now. Cheers from the rafter supporters. Here's a chance.
Advantage rafter.
Well, that was a situation where Dosedel needed a slice backhand just to float back into the court and get into the point. He rushed that backhand, which was asking a bit too much.
Set point then.
Oh, yes.
Game and third set, rafter. 6-4.
You may wonder why, but he's in front.
Rafter leads by 2-1.
Well, that really was the crucial turning point. That may not have been the best single game of tennis you'll see at these championships, but nonetheless it did the job for Rafter, and he rattled through the fourth set. This was a crucial point which gave him a break of serve against Dosedel, one in very flamboyant style a la Becker.
Game rafter.
And in the end, what it meant was that Rafter went safely through in 4 sets, 7-5, 4-6, 6-4, 6-1, and this is what he made of it all.
I want to see if I can get a headband green and gold. Let's see if my mate's got one. I got a gold one. Well, it's yellow or gold, whatever you want to call it. But it should be a great game. And I've got to play Saturday, so hoping for a late start and a successful win from the Aussie boys. Put me in a good spirit for the day.
How do you think it is going to go?
No idea. I think it's 50-50. And I know it's going to be a great game, and I'm sure we played in great spirits.
Will you try and watch it?
I'll try not to watch it, put it that way.
Really?
Well, because I'll be probably so pumped up that the adrenaline is something you don't want to, feel that burst of before you're about to play, because you need it all while you're on the court. So I think I'll be more trying to tear myself away from it.
Pat Rafter talking there obviously about the British Lions Australia first test match on Saturday morning. Talking about Pat Rafter first of all there, I mean there was some great tennis in that match, some fairly indifferent tennis as well. How do you assess his current form?
Well, his first round match he played fantastically well. I think, Pat likes to play a lot of matches, and he got a few matches in Germany, in the same week as Queens, and then went out, first round last week. He would be happier with a few more matches under his belt, but he's a great competitor, and if he can get himself down to that quarter-final time, or even get through the semi-final, that's when he'll really get pumped up. And his volleys are just fantastic.
But you obviously know him very well. How much does it still hurt or rankle with him that, in a way, well, by his own admission, he threw it away last year?
Well, you go out there and you give it your best shot. And I've been in a situation where I've lost 2 very close Grand Slam finals. But you just got to say, well, I did my best, and I played good tennis. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, there's 1 point here or there, and you just never know. I think what hurts Pat a little bit is the fact that he could have won the Australian Open this year. He went down with some cramps in incredibly hot conditions against Andre in the semi-final. Andre cruised through the final. He had problems again in the Davis Cup, so he's had a couple of opportunities to grab 2 big things, one the Davis Cup and one the Australian Open. So he's really ready for this one.
Sure. Never mind anything else. Don't do this at home. If you're a club tennis player, don't throw the ball up like Slava Dosedel, right?
Yeah, I mean, that game, talk about two shocking double faults. Rafter virtually clean missed the ball. It makes everybody at home feel a little bit better, I'd reckon, about that game. That was a shocking game, apart from a couple of points.
OK, now, inevitably, the subject of retirement came up when Pat Rafter was being interviewed, and this is what he had to say.
You might not have looked this far ahead. I mean, if you do decide to retire, would you want to stay within the game like Pat Cash in a coaching role, or
I certainly hope not.
What about the media?
Definitely not the media. I wouldn't like to do commentary, and I don't think so. But you know, the tennis has been my life and my game, and I'd like to take a step back from it and see how much I really miss it and how much I love it. And I'm sure in, you know, let's say for instance 10 years there'll be some capacity that I will be involved with tennis, because I think it's a great sport and I love it.
Well, your job's safe for a bit anyway.
I said the same thing. Believe me, I've said the same thing. I think John McEnroe said the same thing. It's one of those things, it's in your blood, you know, you just... the last thing I wanted to do was be a tennis coach and be involved in the media, because I always had problems with it. But here I am.
When that BBC dollar gets offered, you know, it's impossible to resist.
That's right, the mansions are just there to be taken.
How do you think the Australian nation's going to cope with being thrashed by the Lions on Saturday morning?
I don't think certainly nobody's really going to care in Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania, or Melbourne, because we all play Aussie rules. We don't even know what that sport is. I won't say what we call it.
OK, that's put us in our plate anyway, but you're still going to lose, mate, OK? All right, let's go on then to Leighton Hewitt, or more to the point, his opponent, Taylor Dent. In the first set, you really could say it was almost Lennox Lewis against Nassim Hamed. Little and large, just look at this. Taylor Dent just blew him away. Serves were flying in at 130, 132, 135, 141, 142, and one of the serves, 144 miles an hour, was the quickest ever since they introduced the old speed gun here at Wimbledon. That one was actually long, 145, otherwise that would have broken his own record. So basically the pressure's on Rosetsky tomorrow to actually try and beat that this time. That'll be the least of his concerns, I would think. Anyway, 6-1 it was to Dent in the first set, and at that point you really did think, well, we could be on for a very major upset, because Dent was in fine form. He'd come through qualifying, he'd won the Surbiton tournament, and when it came to grass, he was playing almost as well as Hewitt was. But in the second set, after a rain delay, Hewitt came back to take the second 7-5 and the third 6-3, and here he is now serving for the match at 6-5.
All right. Okay.
Take it easy on him.
You're right, but I'm going to let you say whatever you want about that shot.
I mean, Hewitt's just scrambling to even get the ball back, but he makes him hit one more ball. What can you say? That's too bad.
Incredible. When you look back at it, I mean, sure, every point's different, but he made a very easy forehand volley. He's going for too much. Could have been love 30.
That's the Aussie, Clayton Hewitt, with 2 match points. This guy never says die. It's paid off for him once again.
Well, he made the approach shot this time. Missed the 2 previous.
40-30.
It has worked well for him throughout the match. Hewitt still with a match point. Best approach shot of the match. Hit that incredibly hard.
Yeah, let's give him
Look
credit
how
for
hard
that.
he hit this one.
Is just knifed. It's spinning. It's staying down. Hewitt just could not control the pass. Just a second. Not yet.
Advantage then. Systems all full set. Tiger.
As you like to say, can you believe that?
Holy smoke.
Game to serve.
2 match points, and now all of a sudden we have a brand new ball game.
Well, both boys feeling the pressure.
Talk about a burst of adrenaline right now. He clocked that in at 139. He is still alive. Still alive and well. You know that Johnny Winter album, don't you?
I know Johnny Winter. I know the album. Hewitt serving 2 double faults in a row, losing that, and hadn't had another second serve. Rolled it in, and Dent knew he was going to roll it in. Make sure he got it in 78 miles an hour, second serve. Very slow.
Hewitt is tight as a drum right now after blowing that lead. He's temporarily at least lost his feel, and this is an outstanding opportunity for Taylor Dent to take this to a 5th set.
Look at the speed on this one.
3-1.
Oh, he's bumped up again. A bit like the first set. And there They're getting faster and faster and faster.
4-1. Dent.
Impossible. Slow down now. He's so fired up, he's jump out of his pants.
Well, for anybody who didn't think, or thinks the tennis players don't show emotion and are boring, check these guys out. Yeah, he's got to calm down a little bit. He's got to expect to get. He's got to try and make the Hewitt serve back. Hewitt's got to just try and weather the storm a little bit. Hold on to his serve and just hope that Dent misses a first serve.
Well, he's got him where he wants him now. 5-2 and 2 serves to come. Looks like we may be settling in for a while. He had played so well in the beginning, you just have to feel like deserves this. A new life.
6-2 Dent.
Who would have thought he would have come out of that hole 5 minutes ago?
Well, a game on, as they say. 2 apiece. Who's your money on in the 5th? If you don't know the result, Hewitt held serve at the start of the decider, and here's Dent. He needs to hang on.